Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to take this opportunity to use this platform, this public platform, however small the audience may be, to reach out to the Nashville Police Department and actually say thank you. Specifically to Mike Cayazzo, I know I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong, and Rex Engelbert. The Nashville Police Department as a whole did very well on March 27th of 2023 to go into the school and kill a school shooter, this subhuman piece of shit, which I'm gonna get to here in a second. I wanna start off positive by saying thank you to Rex Engelbert as well as Mike Cayazzo. And again, I know I'm pronouncing your name wrong probably. Sorry about that. What I will say is the Nashville Police Department, watching the body cam footage, did everything that they were supposed to do. Everything that was expected of them. They brought speed, they brought violence. They were able to clear the hallways and clear the stairwells so quickly, so efficiently. Minor details such as getting out of the doorway, the fatal funnel, can be seen in the video. But I truly believe that the Nashville, Tennessee Police Department can use the body cam footage to show what a building clear is supposed to look like. If we had people like Rex Engelbert and Mike Cayazzo and the rest of the officers that were there responding to that school shooting in the Uvalde Police Department, or in the whenever the Uvalde was having their school shot up, we wouldn't have the issue that we had back then. Audrey Hale, you are a piece of shit, and I'm glad you are dead. That being said, and a lot of people are going to find that to be very negative. And they're going to find me using her pronoun as her to be very negative. But what I will say is, I have no respect for you at all. You are a fucking coward. You're going to use bullying as an excuse to be a 28-year-old grown woman and walk into a school and kill 3 children and 3 adults. Defenseless fucking children because you were bullied in school. 10 years ago at least. You are fucking pathetic. And for anybody who's going to argue over the pronouns that she wants to go by, that's not the fucking issue here, and you're missing the point. The actions taken by the police officers on that day were nothing less than phenomenal. You look at this, and what you're looking at is people who have trained to do what they needed to do that day. This is the reason that we do not need to defund the police, and we need the police to have more funding. People are trying to defund the police because of what they call accidental homicides, or what they would actually call intentional homicides. What I will say to that is, if you defund the police, what you're doing is you're taking away training. You're taking away training that could be used to show hand-to-hand combat techniques, non-lethal hand-to-hand combat techniques, to show how to clear a house, clear a room, clear a building or a school. Defunding the police is going to get more people killed rather than saving lives. This is why the police need more funding, and they need good officers, like the 2 that I mentioned earlier. I really feel like I'm focusing on both Mike Cayazzo and Rex Engelbert because they were the 2 that led the assault. Or not led the assault, they were the 2 that were credited with, again, putting down the subhuman mongrel. The entire police department, I think, could have handled that the exact same way. But a special thanks to those 2 who did pull the triggers. And I am sorry for whatever may come after. Whatever issues that you may be dealing with right now, I don't think that you have any reason to feel any ounce of pity for this individual or question what you did that day. You did your job and you did it fucking well. Looking at this, again, looking at the body cam footage, it's perfect. And I know that that's not easy. I'm not trying to disparage the Uvalde police officers. Again, it was lack of training. If we look at defunding and refunding the police, for this, I actually reached out to several of my buddies who were in the military with me. People who have deployed multiple times, people who took contact multiple times. And I asked them what it was that got them through these things, through these instances of taking direct fire, taking IEDs. And most of them were medics, as myself, who had to render aid to individuals. So I wanted to talk with them about what it was that they did in the situation, what they were feeling in the situation, what they were feeling before as well as afterwards. The common through line is that while the situation was happening, most of the time they weren't thinking. They didn't have time to be scared. They didn't have time to think about what they needed to do. They didn't sit there. They moved on muscle memory. They took sight, they pulled the trigger. They've cleared houses, they've done everything else. And while you may have fear afterwards and beforehand, in this situation, you really don't even have emotions. You push forward. And the reason for that is training, deliberate repetitive practice. You'll see it in every single profession that requires a degree of muscle memory. We see it in nursing. where you deliberately practice Foleys and IVs. Deliberate, repetitive practice is what's going to fucking save lives in the future, regardless of what profession you're in. And that is why we need to refund the police. We need to give more funding to police so that they can set up shoot houses, so that they can do what needs to be done whenever situations like this occur. Because of them, because of the training that they have gone through, only, and I don't mean this to take away any of the abysmal shit that piece of... I can't even fucking form a sentence thinking about that fucking subhuman mongrel. Not to take away what she did, but what I will say is, due to them, it was contained to only 3 children and 3 adults that died that day. And that's still a huge fucking toll to have to pay. But without that training, if we had another Uvalde standoff, we could have been looking at double digits. So again, I want to say thank you to the Nashville Police Department. And lastly, a message to Audrey Hale's family. Most of the time, you would look at this and you would look at a 28-year-old adult and you would say that maybe their parenting and everything didn't have anything to do with it. Audrey Hale was a 28-year-old that was still living with her parents. Parenting in this situation does have a lot to do with it. And to address the people who may be saying that the police in this situation went overboard by emptying the magazine and continuously firing at this individual, first of all, she was still standing whenever they were firing at her. At no point did they shoot her while she was down. This was, again, deliberate training based off of science. And if that's not quite good enough, then I'll actually go back and I'll quote Sheriff Wayne Ivey from the Brevard County Sheriff's Office in Florida. Evil can never be dead enough. You guys raised a fucking monster, and I'm glad she's gone.